Well, that was almost a disaster.
Almost,
Oh my
almost
God.
doesn't count though. Almost doesn't count. Go
No, it
Pistons.
doesn't. But jeez, I was ready to tell you to hop on early. Let's get started. It was almost a damn,
Damn, it
almost,
was almost.
but
But
we didn't
hey,
call it for a
but
reason. And the
yep.
Heat almost erased a 22-point deficit, down 8. But they do lose to the Detroit Pistons. Let's go to the box score. Pistons beat the Heat 138-135. Cade Cunningham 29-8. Tobias Harris 26 points. Duncan Robinson, his revenge tour was successful for the Heat. Andrew Wiggins 31-6. Norman Powell 28, and Tyler Hero 24 points, 6 of 11 from 3. The Pistons improved to 16-4. The Heat dropped to 13-7. It's weird because I feel like we do have to talk about the end of the game, how this game ended with the flurry that the Miami Heat put on the last 8 minutes of the game, almost, pulling a rabbit out of the hat. But to be honest with you, to me, the story of this game was that the Pistons looked like the better team for the whole night. I mean,
Yeah.
they just looked like they were two different teams. The Pistons were on a back-to-back, missing Jalen Duren, and they just looked, I wouldn't say fresher, because I think both teams tried to run. It reminded me of like watching an NFL football game. Bear with me, Kwab.
I'm here.
It reminded me of watching
Let's go on this journey. Let's go on this
an
journey.
NFL football game where both teams are trying to run the football, but only one team can kind of get past the offensive line and gain some yardage. And on the other end, someone's trying to run the football and they just keep getting stopped because the defensive line is stopping them at the line of scrimmage.
So you're saying
Pistons,
it's like the Pistons were basically doing the push tush and it was working and
not
everybody
even
else was
at some points, yes, but I think
yeah.
they got into the paint and got whatever they wanted. And the Miami Heat, they're running this new offense where they're not really setting ball screens. They started doing that in the second half because I think Spoelstra went to the locker room and was like, "All right, this ain't working." But they have this thing where they kind of just try to take their man off the dribble. They swing the ball in the perimeter very quickly. They cut, when they hit the paint. It works, and they've been scoring a lot of points, and they play at a fast pace. But the problem was you're playing a Detroit Pistons team that is really good at defense and is really good at the point of attack. So the Heat weren't able to get by their men. They weren't able to get into the paint the way they wanted to get in the paint, create disadvantages. So they scored most of their points in the first quarter at the free throw line, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's not a bad thing. But you weren't creating quality shots all night. And the Pistons were. The Pistons were getting past their defenders. They were getting into the paint. They were scoring in the paint. When they were shooting threes, they were hitting threes. It was just the same game plan, just one team was just way better at it for the whole night. The Pistons just seemed to be the more physical team. They seemed to be the better defensive team. Offensively, they looked like they were a more skilled team. For most of the night until Davion Mitchell started picking Cade Cunningham's pocket, which was wild to see multiple times. The Pistons overall, to me, were just the better team. It seems like to me, we say this all the time. You say this all the time, actually, especially when it comes to the playoffs, that it's about matchups.
Yeah.
Styles make fights. And watching this, and I didn't think about this in my head, but watching this, I was like, oh man, these two teams playing the playoffs, I don't know how the Heat create advantages on the offensive end consistently if they dedicate themselves to playing the way they've played so far this year. They're going to have to switch it up.
Yeah, I think that the Pistons look like like you said, kind of like the fresher team, but they're playing their third game in 4 nights, which and they just came on a back-to-back where we just covered where they played the Magic, where the Magic were pushing the tempo the whole time. So I expected the Heat to kind of come out and push the tempo to try to see if they can get them tired, because it's like the Pistons just flew into Miami. Not saying anything happened, but just coming to Miami.
Listen, I was out last night, didn't see him. I'm in Miami.
I know you're in Miami, so yeah.
You see this background? This is Dad's house.
This is
In Miami.
So yeah, I expected that, but both these two teams lead the league in paint points, but it was the Pistons that were just getting the paint and getting whatever they wanted. It took till I'm trying to remember this. It took till the third quarter till I saw Spoelstra go zone, which surprised me. Because I was like, why aren't you going zone? You're the Heat.
Yeah.
You go zone and all the time. And not to rehash past things,
Stop.
when the Heat played the Knicks in the playoffs.
Why? This is 2
The
years ago.
Heat went zone
This
and
is 2 years ago, dude.
they funneled the offense into non-shooters, which I thought that Heat were going to do that this game, but it didn't happen until they did that in the third quarter and upped the activity. But Pistons just look like the better team, man. like you said, Cade was Cade. Besides him getting picked off, which happened late in the game, but he was Cade. Duncan Robinson shot way better than he did last game. That was a, like you said, revenge game. With a revenge game, he
Yeah.
came out gunning. He looked great. Tobias Harris played well, hit a bunch of shots, but the Pistons looked more like the Pistons tonight than they did last night, where they
Yeah.
were getting stops, pushing the tempo, and that's something we talked about yesterday in our recap. We're like, they look like the slower team last night. Tonight, they look like the more faster, energetic team. With the Heat, I know that the Pistons were missing Jalen Duren and Karis LeVert, but the Heat
Yeah.
were missing Jaime Jaquez,
Yeah.
who is a big factor for them in your bench play. And that was very evident in the first quarter, first half, when Cade was on the bench, and the Pistons bench were the ones that were up in the lead. Like, that made a difference. Usually Jaime comes in for the Heat. He comes off the bench. He's a creator for them, and also his ability to drive, get in the paint. Kind of like you mentioned about how your offense is predicated on a lot of one-on-one space and shooting, and it works out well for a player like Jaime. He's been playing fantastic all season. 6th Man of the Year candidate. So you could tell they were missing him greatly throughout the course of this game. But the Heat just looked, besides that end of the game where they made their run, they looked like the ones that were on the back-to-back. Like, they look like the ones, like the energy was lacking. We have our thoughts about this offense. I mean, it's the same offense that kind of got ran out of Memphis, basically. But we've covered previous Heat games, and you can kind of see what it looks like when it's working, but then stretches when it's not working, you're like, hey, like, go to a ball screen, like you said, like go do something else.
And they tried that in the second half. To Spoelstra's
Yeah.
credit, I mean, he's not stubborn like the Mike D'Antoni. Like, Mike D'Antoni run the same offense over and over.
Yeah,
and
regardless.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Spoelstra switched it up. I mean, they were running stagger screens for Tyler Hero and Norman Powell in the second half, on ball screens, which, I mean, it still didn't work to start the second half. They got back into the game because of turning the ball over and running, really.
Yeah.
But to me, it's an offense that if you face a defensive team like the Pistons, who are a top 5 defensive rating Pistons fans, you
Yep.
tell me which one. I think you're third, but if it's higher, let me know.
Yeah.
When you face a team that's that good defensively and who's that good, that has like a Sore Thompson, guarding the perimeter, like, you're gonna have to figure out ways to get into the paint. You can't just dance, shoot a three like Norman was doing that, and he played well, and they hit some of those threes too. It wasn't like they had a bad night from three. But they just weren't able to create advantages in the half court. If they weren't running out and leaking out or getting to the free throw line, they really weren't doing much on the offense at all until the fourth quarter, really. So, to me, it doesn't seem like, to me, that's an anomaly. I don't know if I watched this game and thought, wow, Miami looks like the tired team. Miami looks like the team's on the back. I watched this game, which is like, oh, Miami just can't get by the Pistons defenders. And on the other end, Miami just didn't play good point of attack defense until they had to.
Okay, I agree with that. I can agree with that.
Yeah, Davion Mitchell, I mean, in the fourth quarter, really stepped it up. I thought he had a really good game in general.
Yeah.
But overall, they just let the Pistons get into the paint. They did a decent job on the glass, but they didn't stop. They did a horrible job in transition.
Yeah.
Every time the Pistons turned the ball over, it seemed like, every time the Heat turned the ball over, it seemed like the Pistons scored the basketball.
Yeah, they got a layup, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
so
yeah.
it was just, to me, the Pistons just looked like the better team with better ball handlers and
Better defenders and
they just looked like the better team.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, and listen, I know Coach Spoelstra. He's the type of coach he could play one way all year, and then they play the Pistons in the playoffs, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, they
he
played
switches it up. Yeah.
a 1-2-1-1 zone, 3-quarter court zone, and ran this weave. Like, they'll do something different in the playoffs. But if this, based off of the way the Heat play right now and the Pistons play right now, to me, it's a bad matchup for the Heat, at least. Like, and I'll say this, so Heat fans don't think I'm picking on them. I think the Heat are a horrible, for the Knicks, horrible matchup. Horrible. I do not want to see the Heat because I know Jalen Brunson, Crawley, they're too slow on the perimeter to guard a Bam Adebayo and a Tyler. Like, you guys can get into the paint, drive, kick, and do whatever you want against a team like the Knicks, who have a hard time guarding the perimeter with their players.
But against the Pistons, it's a different story.
Right. Heat, you try that. Try doing what you're doing against the Thunder. Tell me what happened. Good luck. Report back.
I mean, I'll add to this. Like, You got a good play from Andrew Wiggins too, because he was like very
Wiggins has been good.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been good. I think when we recap them against the Spurs, he's probably the only player that played well on the Heat
Mhm.
on that during that game, just because he was being aggressive, and they need him to be aggressive throughout the course of the game. I felt like he was, again, in the second half, he was more aggressive, like looking more for his shot and attacking,
Yeah.
which you need that, especially if you're down your main players off the bench who's been a big factor all year. On the Pistons side, this game also shows, when we've talked about this before when talking about the Pistons, they're a very deep team.
Dennis Jenkins, bro. Sorry to interrupt you, but
Yeah,
big move
I
down the
knew you were
stretch.
gonna. I knew you were gonna. Yeah, I knew you were
Yeah.
gonna say it. Yeah, Dennis Jenkins, he played well. Man, he played well, and we talked about this last game, but he got 15 minutes. Like,
And he was in the closing lineup too, which I think is important.
yeah, and he hit that tough move step back
Yeah.
throughout the course of the game. Like, he played well, man. He played well, and I think you're gonna keep playing him, or also keep playing Jaden Ivey.
Jaden
I
played
think
well
Jaden,
too.
yeah, played
He
well.
played
So
really.
that's
He played much better than he played last night.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that gives them, again, that opens up your guard rotation even more.
Yeah.
B-ball Paul Reed,
Double, baby.
great game. Great game by him.
Yeah.
Great game by him. Like, and when you're missing Jalen, who's your big guy inside, to have another big that can come in and he got 10 rebounds. He was physical inside. He hit a
The whole
three.
bench played
Like,
good. The
yeah,
whole bench
that,
was awesome. Ron Holland was good today.
yes, yeah. So
Javante was good.
and they just, and that, I mean, and the point you made is like they were just a better team. It was just, I remember there's just a point when I was watching the game, I'm like, they shouldn't be the team with more energy. That was just like, it just felt like they were the team with more energy. And again, to your point that you made, anytime they got a stop or a steal, they were out.
Yeah.
Like, they were out. The tempo, they were pushing the tempo, and it was just a different Pistons team than when we saw last night.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, the Pistons beat the Heat 138-135. They continue to be ahead of the Eastern Conference. Heat, you could have done us a solid, man. You could have done us a solid, man. You don't want to help us. You don't want to help us. It's all good.
No, don't help the Knicks. Do not help the Knicks, please.
All right, so you can follow Dime over at the Dime NBA. I'm Josh. He's Kwab. Check out our power rankings. We got some good debate going on there. I actually I like the debate that's going on. You know, we're getting yelled at for not putting the Suns in the top 10. People are salty that we put the Rockets over the Nuggets, even though we were vindicated last night. Go ahead, talk crap. I love it.
Vindication.
Dime After Dark. We have a great one coming this Tuesday. We took this week off because of the holiday, but we have, was it the Thunder? Who are they playing? Thunder Warriors Tuesday
Thunder
night.
Warriors,
So after that, Dime After Dark. Stay tuned for that. I might have another co-host for that night. Kwab has to work, people, and it's late.
That's late.
So it might be a throwback for those of you who've been around for the Dime with Josh Rodriguez days, which I don't know if there's anybody on YouTube. I think the audio audience I had back in the day is completely separate than the YouTube.
Separate,
audience.
yeah, but hey, those were the best times, man.
Those were good. No, those were the best
You don't
times.
see a
Those times
master.
with
You don't see a master at work if
The
it's a
best times
solo
were with
show.
you. This is why you're a co-host,
Oh.
bro. No, solo show. I always had a co-host. Always. It wasn't just me all the time. But anyway, it might be a throwback to those days.
No.
But either way, stay tuned. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. What are you waiting
Subscribe.
for? You clicked on like 5 of our reaction videos. You like us. Admit it.
Let's do it. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah,
If you are
wanna-
subscribed, thank you. We definitely appreciate it. We'll see you next. We'll see you Monday. We're not doing anything tomorrow. We'll see you Monday for an episode of Dime. Peace.